を守ってこそ自分も守れる。物のことばかり考える奴は。
Akira Kurosawa is considered one of the most masterful and influential filmmakers in the history of cinema, inspiring generations of filmmakers and changing the cinematic landscape forever. While his most known works are his epic samurai films, he covered a wide array of genres and themes over his nearly 5-decade run as a director. Kurosawa created the blueprint for what makes an impactful action film. Nearly everything can be traced back to him. One shining example is Kurosawa's 1961 film, Yojimbo, which inspired Italian director Sergio Leone to create a nearly shot-for-shot remake of Kurosawa's film but in a Western setting. This film was called For a Fistful of Dollars, which on its own inspired the popularity of the spaghetti western.
Yojimbo, on the other hand, was the movie that was the inspiration to A Fistful of Dollars. And so when you see A Fistful of Dollars and the idea that a samurai, and basically he's a samurai for hire, comes into a town and there's two warring factions in the town, and they're all both cruel. They're cruel and evil factions. He pits them against each other based on the fact that samurai were seen as noble and, good kind of characters within Japanese culture.
Kurosawa was creative in that he would often use weather in his films to create an emphasis of certain feelings that he was trying to convey. Other times he did this to create a sort of ongoing movement in the background of his shots. He also loved movement of groups and the movement of the camera itself.
I think really understood the idea of composition, and it came from his background as an artist.
All of these elements of action, humanity, and culture were combined to create an experience that had not yet been seen in the cinemas. Kurosawa had been exposed to the many horrors of World War I and II. He had been exposed to the countless death and destruction from many natural disasters throughout his life. Through this perception of life, Kurosawa crafted his style, an in-depth look into the flawed humanity. I suppose all of my films have a common theme. If I think about it, though, the only theme I can think of is really a question. Why can't people be happier together? And that often takes us to the center of Kurosawa's work. We cannot be happier together if we are no longer happy with our own selves. Kurosawa took a bold approach with his films, taking the raw elements of life and taking the pain and suffering of humanity and sculpting them into a flawed yet beautiful world of human nature.
A guy who is not just a Japanese filmmaker, but someone who basically is an artist, poet, and last but not least, his messages about the human condition.
His films represent the change within us as people who still hold on to the memory of something that has been lost. Beyond the masterful and perfected style, the innovations he made, Kurosawa was truly a master of understanding people themselves. He was able to breathe life into his epic, thrilling blockbusters and allow us to see our own flawed humanity. Akira Kurosawa continued directing until the 1990s, passing in 1998 at the age of 88. His work still lives on as an inspiration and a blueprint for films today.